Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So just 31 students have joined. Even after telling the students the importance of the lecture today, even then they do not join. That means they are not at all serious to be engineers. Okay, so let's start. So we have already finished the first section. In the first section, we have studied 3 units. Okay, introduction to open channel flow. That was the first unit. Then the second unit was uniform, steady and uniform open channel flow. And third unit was varied or non-uniform flow. Now, proceeding further, today we are going to start with our second section. And in our second section, we are going to start with the fourth unit, that is the impact of jets. Okay. Now, anybody know what this unit or chapter is about? Do you have any idea? You have all completed your diploma. So I think if not all, some may have the idea of what is meant by jets. So when we say here jets, what are we talking about? Anyone? Yes, anyone. If you know, say it, or if you don't know, just say no.
Stream of fluid, sir.
Yes.
Jet means stream of fluid.
Okay. Can you give me one example? Okay. So let us first see the today's lecture outcomes that we are starting the 4th unit. The students will be able to understand the importance of water jet in the production of electricity. So here we have finished with the study of water which is flowing in an open channel. Then in hydraulics 1 we have studied water flowing in a pipe, etc., etc. Now in the second section of hydraulics 2, we are going to study how we are going to utilize the water in production of electricity. Okay. Now for this purpose, I just wish to show you some 2 or 3 videos. So let me just show you. First video that I will be showing you is how electric generation takes place. 1 second. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
The importance of electricity in our modern world can hardly be overstated. What was a luxury 100 years ago is now a critical component to the safety, prosperity, and well-being of nearly everyone. And yet electricity is so unlike our other physical necessities. We can't hold it in our hand, we can't see it directly, and we usually only have a vague understanding of where it comes from. Hey, I'm Grady, and this is Practical Engineering. On today's episode, we're talking about power generation. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh, America's most popular meal kit. More on that later. Generation is the first step electricity takes on its journey through the power grid, the gigantic machine that delivers energy to millions of people day in and day out. We talked about the power grid in a previous video, but there's one crucial point that's worth repeating. It's a real-time energy delivery system. Electricity moves at nearly the speed of light, and current availability of large-scale energy storage is negligible. That means that power is generated, transported, supplied, and used all in the exact same moment. The energy coursing through the wires of your home or office was a ray of sunshine on a solar panel, an atom of uranium, or most likely a bit of coal or natural gas in a steam boiler only milliseconds ago. Because of the laws of thermodynamics, all our electricity starts as some other kind of energy, which means all our ways to generate electricity are just fancy ways of converting one type of energy to another. And in most cases, the type of energy being converted to electricity is heat. Take a look at any of the various pie charts showing the breakdown of global energy production. You'll see that the vast majority of methods we use to generate power are essentially just different ways of getting water really hot. Many thermal power plants, as they're called, use fossil fuels like coal or natural gas in a furnace to generate steam. These type of plants have the obvious disadvantage of producing tremendous amounts of carbon dioxide as a byproduct, a greenhouse gas that's largely responsible for the ongoing rise in the average temperature of the Earth's climate, also known as global warming. In fact, electricity production makes up about a third of total global greenhouse gas emissions. Luckily, there are other ways to generate large quantities of steam that don't rely on fossil fuels. Some plants use the fission of radioactive elements in a nuclear reactor as a source of heat. Some parts of the world can use geothermal energy, heat from inside the Earth's crust. We can even use arrays of mirrors to concentrate sunlight and create enough heat to run a boiler. But beyond that first step, thermal power stations are pretty much all the same. Once the steam is created, it passes through a turbine, which converts thermal energy into rotational energy. The shaft of the turbine is coupled to a rotor, that's the part that rotates of an AC generator, that spins a set of magnets. The stator, that's the part that's stationary, has a set of coils of wire called windings. As the magnets on the rotor pass each winding, they generate a voltage across each coil. In most places in the world, the number of coils in the stator is 3 because our grid is built for 3-phase alternating current. The benefit of having the current alternate directions is that it makes it easier to step up or down the voltage using a dead simple device called a transformer. The benefit of generating power in 3 individual phases is getting a fairly smooth supply of electricity that overlaps, so there's never a moment when all the phases are 0. A 3-phase supply can also carry 3 times as much power on 3 wires as a single-phase supply wire can carry on 2. This is why steam turbine generators almost always have coils grouped in 3. But steam isn't the only way to spin a turbine. Hydroelectricity uses flowing water, and wind energy production has seen massive growth in the past 10 years.
So, the purpose for showing you this video was how is electricity produced. So we have seen, as the man in the video says, that basically the energy is produced by rotating a turbine. Okay, by rotating a turbine. Now, there are 3 types or 3 ways in which we can rotate a turbine. In the other forms of producing electricity, such as a thermal power plant, which uses coal and natural gas, okay? Then others such as atomic power plant, which uses uranium as the source material, or any other geothermal energy. What they do is they heat up water, okay? Those thermal power plants, atomic power plants, their sole purpose is to heat water, okay, in order to produce steam. Now, what that steam does is it falls on the turbine, and due to the energy of the steam, the turbine starts moving, okay? And then the heat energy of the steam gets converted into the rotation energy of the turbine. And to that turbine, a shaft is attached, okay? Through a shaft, the turbine is attached to a generator. And the rotating power of the generator, the rotating power of the turbine is converted into electrical power or electrical energy in the generator, which generates the electricity. Have you followed me up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, these different types of power plants which produce steam, okay, from boiling water. Now, they also produce a lot of carbon dioxide, okay, as a byproduct, which is helping in the climate change that is taking place in today's world, okay. Now, one of the alternative to this production of steam, okay, is rotating the turbine with the help of flowing water. And another use is, which you can see on the screen itself, okay, using the wind in order to rotate the blades, okay, of a wind turbine. Here also these fans, okay, that you see, they are nothing but the wings of the turbine which rotate due to the wind, Okay, and this in the middle that you see, that is a shaft which is attached to a generator inside. And this generator, what it does is it converts the rotational energy of this wind turbine into electrical energy. So generator does nothing but produce electrical energy. Now, for us, it is important, as in hydraulics too, to study the power of flowing water in order to rotate a turbine. So how that is done now, let me just show that video to you.
Production.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Of electricity from water energy. Electricity is generated by using the kinetic energy of flowing water is called hydroelectricity. Thus, the electric power that is generated is called hydroelectric power.
Electricity is generated from flowing water at hydroelectric power plant. A high dam is constructed on one side of the reservoir to hold back the water. The generator house is at the base of the dam on its other side. Water flows down through pipes from near the top of the dam to generator house below. It strikes the blades of a water turbine with tremendous speed, making it rotate. The turbine rotates the shaft of a generator to which it is connected. This makes the generator produce electricity. In this way, the kinetic energy of flowing water is used to rotate the turbine, and the rotational kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy.
It is not necessary to set up large dams for hydroelectric plants. Small hydroelectric plants can be set up to generate electricity from a few hundred kilowatts to thousands of megawatts.
Such plants can use water diverted from a waterfall or from a dam built for irrigation. Advantages of hydroelectricity.
The source of energy, that is water, is free and renewable. Production of the energy from flowing water is pollution-free process with no smoke, chemicals, etc. are being produced.
The cost of electricity generation is low as compared to electricity generated from other types of power plants.
Okay. So you have seen how the hydroelectric power plant is used in order to generate the electricity, and what are its uses and what are its advantages with relation to the other types of power plants such as thermal power plant and atomic power plant. Okay, because this hydroelectricity is a form of renewable source of energy. This is because water is free. Okay, it cannot get depleted, but it gets converted into vapor. Okay, then that vapor forms clouds. Okay, then the clouds condense and form rainfall. It is a renewable source of energy which we will always have. Okay, unlike the other thermal power plant which use coal and natural gases. Okay, आता हे जे coal and natural gases आहेत, they are non-renewable sources. They are going to get over some or the other day. Okay. Then next, atomic power plant. Atomic power plant is also a non-renewable source. Okay, but one of the biggest disadvantage of using atomic power plant is what happened to the Fukushima nuclear reactor during the tsunami which took place in Japan in 2011. Do you remember that tsunami? Okay, have you heard about it? Okay, so what happened was due to the water receding, okay, from the nuclear, that Fukushima nuclear reactor was built at in the coastal area. That means near the seashore. That means water directly from the sea, it was or directly from the ocean was transported to the nuclear reactor. Okay, in order to convert into steam, as well as also in order to keep the nuclear reactor cool. तुम्हाला हे माहित आहे का नाही, आय डोंट नो, पण न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टरला 24 तास थंड ठेवावा लागतो, बिकॉज द हीट विच इज प्रोड्यूस्ड इन अ न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर इज व्हेरी ट्रिमेंडस. आता त्या सुनामी मध्ये काय झालं, वॉटर पहिल्यांदा रिसीड होतो म्हणजे आधी मागं सरकतो सुनामीमध्ये, त्याच्यानंतर परत डबल फोर्सने येतो पाणी. तर जेव्हा वॉटर रिसीड झालं तेव्हा न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टरला जे पाणी लागत होतं थंड राहण्यासाठी ते त्याला अवेलेबल झालं नाही, आणि त्याच्यामुळे काय झालं, ट्रिमेंडस हीट क्रिएट झाली, ड्यू टू विच द फुकुशिमा न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर फेल्ड. that is the major disadvantage of any nuclear reactor. Okay, so if not these new power plants, then what? Okay, instead of this we can use the renewable sources of energy such as hydroelectric power plant. Okay, then the wind turbines, but the wind turbines are totally dependent upon the winds. काही दिवशी तुम्हाला चांगली विंड मिळेल, काही दिवशी तुम्हाला कमी विंड मिळेल. ओके, सो इट इज नॉट रिलायबल. सेकंड इज सोलर. ओके, electricity produced from solar or sun. Now that also has some of its disadvantages, such as until recently we were not able to produce electricity from solar panels on a large scale. Why? Because it is very costly. Yes, Tuba?
No, sir, by mistake.
Okay. So until recently, the solar cells which were used to power the solar panels, they were very costly. So solar energy can be used in order to produce electricity, but for now, okay, आतासाठी तरी काय आहे की आपण ते इंडिव्हिज्युअल लेवल वरती किंवा ऑर्गनायझेशनल लेवल वरती आपण त्याला यूज करू शकतो इन ऑर्डर टू प्रोड्यूस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. म्हणजे काही जणांच्या घराच्या वरती असतंय सोलर पॅनल लावलेले. ओके, बट सोलर पॅनल्स कॅनॉट बी now at least it is not usually used in order to produce electricity on a large scale. छोट्या स्केल वरती प्रोड्यूस केले जाते इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, पण लार्ज स्केल वरती होत नाहीये. आणि दुसरं एक डिसएडवांटेज मध्ये, सोलर एनर्जी इज ऑल्सो अनरिलायबल. ओके, यू गेट इट फॉर probably 12 hours a day. एक 24 तासाच्या दिवसात तुम्हाला 12 तास काय मिळणार आहे, ते सनची एनर्जी मिळणार आहे. ओके, अँड इफ इट इज अ क्लाउडी डे, then you will not get most sun energy. Even during the winter, when the sun rays fall on the earth in an oblique manner, then also you are going to get a less amount of solar energy. So that is also a pretty unreliable source of energy in order to produce electricity. But hydroelectricity is one of the most reliable source of energy. And there are many advantages. First, as it is, as you can see on the screen, it is free and it is renewable. Okay, that means it does not have the problem that the coals and natural gases have. Then it is a pollution-free process, unlike the thermal power plants using coal as well as the nuclear reactor power plant. Okay, if something happens to it, there is a lot of pollution. Or even in thermal power plants, there is a lot of pollution which is created as a byproduct. Then cost of electricity generation is very low. Okay, because you do not have to transport water over a long distance similar to coals कसं असतंय, कोळसा आपल्याला लांबनं ट्रेन्स थ्रू आणायला लागतंय, ट्रान्सपोर्ट करायला लागतंय. Okay, even for nuclear power plant there should be 24 hours of supply of water in order to keep the nuclear reactor cool. Okay, it is also a very costly process. So compared to that, hydroelectricity is a very cheaper process. Then next, so what we do in order to produce hydroelectricity, we are just going to build a dam. Okay, and we are going to store the water in the reservoir. Now let me just show you with the help of the So what are we going to do? We are going to build a dam. Okay, and we are going to store the water on the upstream side in the form of an artificial lake or a reservoir. Okay, and we are going to build our hydroelectric power plant somewhere at the downstream side of the hydroelectric power plant. Now what is going to happen? You can see here there is a head difference between the power plant and between the reservoir. Okay, reservoir मध्ये वॉटरचा हेड और वॉटरची लेवल हाय आहे आणि तुमच्या हायड्रोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉवर प्लांटची लेवल लो आहे. नॉर्मली the hydroelectric power plant are built below the ground level. कारण की का आपल्याला जो हेड लेवल आहे, okay, that means the level difference between the maximum level of the reservoir and the level of the hydroelectric plant, जेवढं जास्त भेटेल तेवढी जास्त आपल्याला एनर्जी भेटणार आहे. कशी भेटणार आहे? ओके, आपण या रिझर्वॉयर या डॅम थ्रू आपण काय करणार आहे, पेनस्टॉक ओके कनेक्ट करणार आहे फ्रॉम द रिझर्वॉयर टू द हायड्रोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉवर प्लांट. आता हे पेनस्टॉक आहे, इट इज नथिंग बट अ पाइप. It is nothing but a large pipe which connects the reservoir and the hydroelectric power plant. And then water is going to fall from this pipe or this penstock from a very high level to this hydraulic power plant. आता जेवढी लेवल हाय असेल ओके तेवढी कायनेटिक एनर्जी त्या फ्लोइंग वॉटरची जास्त असणार आहे. ओके, सो दिस फ्लोइंग वॉटर कंटेन्स अ हाय अमाउंट ऑफ कायनेटिक एनर्जी. आता इथं आल्यानंतर पेनस्टॉकच्या एंडला आपण काय करतो, एक नोझल लावतो. नाउ व्हॉट इज अ नोझल? यू मे हॅव सीन अ नोझल इन अ वॉशिंग सेंटर, जिथं कार वॉशिंग बाईक वॉशिंग असते, तिथं पाईपच्या एंडला काय केलं जातं, एक छोट पाईपच्या एंडला छोट केलं जातं. त्याच्यामुळे काय आहे, ड्यू टू द एरिया ऑफ ओपनिंग बीइंग व्हेरी लेस, velocity of the water which is flowing will be very high. त्याच्यामुळे इथं काय करतो आपण, पेनस्टॉकच्या एंडला इथं आपण एक नॉझल लावतो where the end is very small, so the water is going to fall out of that nozzle with a very high velocity, and water flowing with a very high velocity is known as a water jet. आणि इथं आपण काय करणार आहे, एक टर्बाइन लावणार आहे. ओके, आणि त्या टर्बाइन वरती काय करणार आहे, तुमचं वॉटरचं जेट पडणार आहे आणि त्याच्यामुळे टर्बाइन रोटेट होणार. आणि या टर्बाइनला अटॅच काय असणार आहे, एक जनरेटर असणार आहे. ओके, अँड ड्यू टू द रोटेटिंग पॉवर ऑफ द or the rotating energy of the turbine, it is going to get converted into electrical energy in the generator. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was nothing in it which you could not understand, because it is a very easy concept. Now let us see how a turbine works in a hydroelectric power plant.
Turbines are suitable for power extraction when water energy is available at high head and low flow rate. Working of Pelton turbine is simple. High-speed water jet is ejected through a nozzle. When this jet hits buckets of Pelton wheel, it induces an impulsive force. This force makes the turbine rotate. In short, Pelton turbine transforms kinetic energy of water jet to rotation.
So you can see here, see this is the nozzle. You can see here the nozzle. It is having a smaller opening than the pipe. So water is going to fall out of this nozzle with a very high velocity in the form of the jet. It is going to strike this particular one plate of the turbine. एक प्लेट टर्बाइनची काय करणार आहे ते अटॅक करणार आहे जेट. त्यामुळे काय होणार, दॅट प्लेट विल मूव फॉरवर्ड. ओके, आणि त्याच्या जागी हा दुसरा प्लेट येणार. त्या दुसऱ्या प्लेट वरती सुद्धा तो काय करणार आहे, जेट पडणार आहे. तो पुढे जाणार आहे. त्याच्या जागी हा तिसरा प्लेट त्याच्या जागी येणार आहे. तो सुद्धा जेटच्या ऍक्शन मुळे काय होणार आहे, पुढे जाणार. ड्यू टू दिस द टर्बाइन विल स्टार्ट रोटेटिंग.
In short, Pelton turbine transforms kinetic energy of water jet to rotational energy. The rotating shaft runs a generator and produces electricity. But demand of power may fluctuate over time.
Okay. Now we are going to study about in detail about the turbine, Pelton turbine, Francis turbine in the next unit, that is 5th unit. So we will not see the video further. I just wanted to show you that particular way how a water jet strikes a turbine. So now you can see the importance of our this 4th unit, okay, and its title, that is impact of jets. So we are going to study the impact of the water jet on the production of electricity. So let us start now. The contents of this unit are as follows. Impulse momentum principle. So the water jet which is going to strike the plate of a turbine, okay, and due to which the plate is going to move, it is going to take place due to a principle which is known as the impulse momentum principle. So in the beginning, we will first see what is the impulse momentum principle. Then we will study about the impact of jet on different plates. आता या प्लेट्सला दुसऱ्या भाषेत, सायंटिफिक भाषेत आपण वेन्स सुद्धा म्हणतो. So impact of jet on veins, whether the veins are flat, whether they are curved, whether they are stationary, whether they are moving, okay, etc. Then we are going to study about the concept of inlet and outlet velocity triangles under various conditions. Okay. And next, series of flat curved vanes mounted on a wheel. So series of flat curved vanes mounted on a wheel is nothing but this is a wheel. Okay, now if I attach a series of flat plates, for example, on a wheel in this manner, it becomes nothing. What it becomes is, it becomes a turbine. And what I'm going to do, I am going to use the jet of water. Okay, due to this jet of water, this one vane or plate, it is going to move forward. त्याची जागा काय घेणार, हा दुसरा प्लेट घेणार. हा दुसरा प्लेट सुद्धा या जेट मुळे काय होणार आहे, पुढे जाणार आहे. And due to this, the turbine is going to rotate. So we are going to see all these examples one by one. Okay, and we are going to derive formula for each and every type of vane or plate and each and every type of turbine. So what we will do today is we'll just see the introduction. We'll just see the introduction and then we'll see the different types of examples that we are going to see in brief. And then if we have time, we will see the first type or else we will end with the lecture. So let us start with the introduction of impact of jets. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is a jet? A fluid jet is a stream of fluid issuing from a nozzle with a high velocity and hence a very high kinetic energy. Okay, nozzle म्हणजे काय? This is the normal cross section of any pipe. Now if at the end, okay, if I decrease the cross sectional area, okay, from where the water is coming out, that instrument is known as the nozzle. Nozzle, has anyone seen anywhere a nozzle? Yes. Has anyone anywhere seen a nozzle? Yes or no?
सर कार वॉशिंग सेंटरच्या इथे.
Car washing center. अजून दुसरीकडे? They are also used by firefighters. फायर ट्रक्स मध्ये जे पाइप्स असतात त्याच्या एंडला बघितलं असेल तुम्ही एक नोझल अटॅच असतंय सो दॅट द वॉटर कॅन फॉल आउट विथ अ व्हेरी हाय वेलॉसिटी. So what is a jet? It is nothing but a stream of fluid issuing from a nozzle with a very high velocity and hence a very high kinetic energy. When a jet impinges on a plate or vein, okay, when that jet is going to fall on a plate or a jet, okay, आता fall पेक्षा सगळ्यात चांगला शब्द कुठला आहे? impinges. So when a jet impinges on a plate or a vein, it exerts a force on it due to the change in momentum. Okay, and this force can be evaluated by using the impulse momentum principle. Now what is an impulse momentum principle? Okay, the impulse momentum principle or theorem states that the change in momentum of an object equals the impulse applied to it. Now what is an impulse? Impulse is nothing but a type of a force. Okay, so the change in momentum of any object, for example the plate, for example a plate, when a jet, for example let us consider that the plate, that means this vertical plate, it is stationary, okay, and it is attached to a wheel of the turbine and it is one of the plate. Now this plate, I'll assume that it is stationary, but when the jet of water falls over on this plate, it is going to move. Okay, it is going to move. So what has happened here is a change in momentum, and change in momentum is denoted by initial momentum minus final momentum. And what is momentum? Momentum, as I have already told you in previous lectures, momentum is nothing but the product of mass and velocity. And for that I have even given you an example in the previous lecture. Consider a car which is standing at the side of a road. Okay, now that car is stationary. Okay, there is some mass of that car, m, I'll say, and that velocity of that car, as it is stationary, it is 0. So v1 is equal to 0. So the particular momentum of that car is 0 for a particular moment. आता काय झालेलं आहे, मागनं मोठं एक ट्रक आलेला आहे and it has dashed on this car. Okay, the truck has crashed on the car. Now due to the collision of the truck, this car will move a little further. Yes or no? का आहे त्या जागेवर थांबणार?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
It is going to move. Now the mass of the car is as it is same because it is a solid object, but its velocity has changed. Okay, it is now something else, but it is not zero because the car has moved now. So it has moved with a certain velocity v2. So this change in velocity can be described as the change in momentum of a particular object. Okay, and the change in the momentum of an object equals the impulse applied to it. So the change in momentum of a plate is going to be equal, change in momentum of an object is going to be equal to the force that we are going to apply with the help of the water jet. Okay, that is our impulse momentum principle. And we are going to use the formula of impulse momentum principle in order to find out the formulas of different impact of jet scenarios. Now this unit, it is going to deal with the application of the impulse momentum equation for evaluating the hydrodynamic force on the stationary and moving vanes. Okay, if the vane, आता ह्याच्या पुढे जेव्हा मी वेन म्हणतो तेव्हा प्लेट इमॅजिन करायचं, जेव्हा मी प्लेट म्हणतो तेव्हा वेन. ओके, एनीथिंग यू कॅन इमॅजिन. प्लेट अँड वेन्स आर द सेम. Whether a plate is stationary, that means it cannot move, or whether that plate is moving, that means it is a part of a turbine. त्या दोन्ही प्लेट्स वरती आपण हायड्रोडायनॅमिक फोर्सचा काय इफेक्ट होतो ते आपण स्टडी करणार आहे. हायड्रोडायनॅमिक इज नथिंग बट हायड्रोडायनॅमिक मीन्स मूव्हिंग वॉटर or water which is moving. So the force of moving water on the stationary and moving plates we are going to study. And the following cases of impact of jet will be considered by us in this unit. Okay. First, when the force exerted by the jet on the stationary plate. So first we are going to see the cases of when the plate is stationary, that means when the plate cannot move. And in this way, we are going to see first the example of when the flat plate is vertical or when it is held normal to the direction of the jet. Okay, that means the jet and the plate are perpendicular to each other. Then next we are going to study the case when the stationary plate is inclined. Okay, and the third case we are going to study when the plate is curved, as you have seen in the video of the Pelton turbine. Next, force exerted by the jet on the moving plate. First we will see when the plate is held normal to the jet. Similar cases, वरती जे केसेस आहेत, 3 केसेस आहेत, ते 3 केसेस सेम आपण स्टडी करणार आहे, but when the plate is moving. Okay. So, is there any problem up to this point? Please tell me. Are there any questions? Is there any doubt, any problem, anything? Or you want to do any discussion? Yes. Anyone?
No, sir.
Yes, others?
No, sir.
Okay, so I think we'll just see the first type when plate is stationary. त्याच्यामधलं सुद्धा आपण फक्त पहिलं केस बघूया, when the plate is held normal to the direction of the jet. Okay, so we'll see the first when plate is stationary. That means the plate cannot move even after the jet has acted on the plate. Okay, even after the jet of water has struck the plate, ड्यू टू द प्लेट बीइंग स्टेशनरी, ती प्लेट काय होणार आहे, मूव्ह होणार नाही. That plate is not going to move. So you can see here, this is a pipe at the end of which a nozzle is attached. Okay, let d be the small d be the diameter of the nozzle. Okay, and let capital V be the velocity with which the jet comes out of the nozzle. Okay, and let the area of the jet be small a. Okay, now after this jet, it strikes the plate which is stationary. What is going to happen to the jet of water? Can anybody tell? What is going to happen to the jet of water? Anybody? कॉमन सेन्सने इमॅजिन करा, एक मी काय केलेलं आहे, सॉलिड प्लेट एक ठेवलेली आहे समोर आणि जेट ऑफ वॉटर त्याच्यावरती मी स्ट्राईक करतोय, तर काय होणार आहे, त्या जेट
Get distributed in the either directions.
Okay, it is going to get the correct word for it is going to get deflected. Okay, along the plate. ओके, फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी तुम्हाला दाखवतो, एक प्लेट आहे, मी त्याला समोरनं बघतोय आणि त्याच्यावर मी इथं जेट स्ट्राईक केलेला आहे. तर आफ्टर स्ट्राइकिंग द प्लेट, व्हॉट इट इज गोइंग टू हॅपन, द वॉटर इज गोइंग टू गेट डिफ्लेक्टेड along the plate. So it is shown here. So the velocity v, it gets deflected. Okay, in either directions after it strikes the stationary plate. So let capital V be the absolute velocity of the jet, let small d be the diameter of the jet, and small a be the cross-sectional area of the jet. Now, before we derive the formula, some important points to consider are: the figure shows a jet of water coming out of nozzle and striking on a plate which is stationary. The velocity with which the jet travels is capital V. Hence, the jet is going to strike the plate with absolute velocity V. ज्या वेलॉसिटीनं जेट नोझलच्या बाहेर येणार आहे आणि ट्रॅव्हल करणार आहे, त्याच वेलॉसिटीनं जेट काय होणार आहे, इट इज गोइंग टू स्ट्राइक द प्लेट. As the plate is stationary, the jet gets deflected through 90 degree. आधी या डायरेक्शन मध्ये ट्रॅव्हल करत होतं, त्यानंतर या डायरेक्शन मध्ये आणि या डायरेक्शन मध्ये. That means the angle of deflection of the water jet is 90 degree. Now next, mass of water jet striking the plate per second for a stationary plate is rho AV according to impulse momentum principle. Now, mass of water jet striking per second, mass per second is nothing but, now you know mass density is equal to mass upon volume. Therefore, mass will be equal to density into volume. Okay, I'll write it down as volume. Okay, so rho into volume upon second. Now, what is volume upon second? Can anyone tell? Volume upon second म्हणजे काय? Yes.
Discharge.
Yes, volume upon second is discharge. So mass per second will be nothing but rho into discharge. आणि डिस्चार्जचा दुसरा फॉर्म्युला काय आहे? रो इंटू एरिया इंटू वेलॉसिटी, बरोबर?
Yes, sir.
एरिया इंटू वेलॉसिटी v. इथं व्हॉल्यूम सुद्धा v न डिनोट होतो म्हणून मी VOL लिहिलेला आहे आणि वेलॉसिटीला कॅपिटल V न डिनोट केलेला आहे. अँड हियर A इज द एरिया ऑफ द जेट. So the mass of water striking the jet per second is nothing but the mass density of water 1000 kg per meter cube into area of the water jet multiplied by velocity of the water jet. Okay. So I hope you understood this. Now proceeding further. So mass of water jet striking the plate per second, that is the mass flow rate, is rho AV. Now the force exerted by the jet on the plate in the direction of jet is now force is nothing but the impulse. आणि आपल्याला impulse momentum equation काय सांगतो? The impulse is equal to the change in momentum of the object. बरोबर का? Let me just show you that if you don't remember. See this. The impulse momentum theorem states that the change in momentum of an object equals the impulse applied to it. बरोबर का?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the force exerted by the jet on the plate in the direction of the jet will be what? Change in momentum. आता mass तर सेम राहणार. ओके. M V1 minus M V2. इथं मास सेम राहणार V1 minus V2. ओके. आता इथं फोर्स एक्झर्टेड बाय द jet on the plate in the direction of the jet. इथं एक करायचं राहिलेलं आहे, that is per second. So force is being applied by the jet on the plate per second. बरोबर? जेट प्रत्येक सेकंडला स्ट्राइक करायला लागले प्लेटला, म्हणजे फोर्स काय व्हायला लागले? प्रत्येक सेकंडला अप्लाय व्हायला लागले जेट प्लेट वरती. सो दिस M will be nothing but mass per second आणि त्याची व्हॅल्यू काय दिलेली आहे? रो ए व्ही. आता V1 इनिशियल वेलॉसिटी म्हणजे जेट सुरुवातीला कुठल्या वेलॉसिटीने ट्रॅव्हल करतोय? कॅपिटल V. पण फायनल वेलॉसिटी काय आहे? लेट अस फाइंड इट आउट. ओके. सो लेट अस सी. So F is mass of water jet striking the plate per second, म्हणजे तुमचं mass per second, that is rho AV, into initial velocity with which the jet strikes minus final velocity in the direction of the jet. आता हे जेट आलेलं आहे इथं आणि इथं डिफ्लेक्ट झालेला आहे 90 डिग्री. आणि जेव्हा ट्रॅव्हल करत होतो तेव्हा त्याची वेलॉसिटी v होती आणि डिफ्लेक्ट झाल्यानंतर वेलॉसिटी काय त्याची vच आहे. बट लेट मी जस्ट शो यू इट लिटल नाइसली. Okay. So velocity with which the jet is traveling is v. It gets deflected. After deflection, त्याची velocity काय असणार आहे? परत vच असणार आहे. Now, initial velocity with which the jet strikes is capital V. Then, what is the final velocity in the direction of jet after it strikes the plate? Final velocity water jet ची after it strikes the plate in the direction of jet काय असणार आहे? Yes, please tell. अरे डोंट नो सर किंवा नो सर काहीतरी बोला. Yes, anyone? असं झोपा काढायला येत असतील तर क्लासमध्ये तर येत जाऊ नका उद्यापासून. हा, let me tell you on record, this is the worst diploma batch in my history of teaching. Worst. And typically diploma batches sincere असतात, लगेच आन्सर देणारे असतात आणि त्याच्यानंतर पुढे पास आउट झाल्यानंतर सुद्धा they are fairly successful in their careers, jobs. Okay, आणि ते पुढे जाऊन जॉब मध्ये सक्सेसफुल होणार, करिअर मध्ये सक्सेसफुल होणार हे त्यांचं सेकंड इयर पासूनच दिसत असते, ड्यू टू देअर सिन्सिअरिटी, ड्यू टू देम आस्किंग क्वेश्चन्स और आन्सरिंग द क्वेश्चन्स. Okay, but based on that I find out your future is very bleak. Okay, so please improve yourself when you can, or if you can. Otherwise I have very less hopes from you, from the entire class, let me tell you. So the initial velocity with which the jet strikes, or with which the jet was flowing, it was capital V. And what will be the final velocity in the direction of the jet after it strikes the plate? जेव्हा हे जेट प्लेटला स्ट्राइक करणार आहे तेव्हा तो 90 डिग्री डिफ्लेक्ट होणार आणि ती वेलॉसिटी v त्याची 90 डिग्री मध्ये येणार आहे. पण इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द जेट ती वेलॉसिटी काय होणार आहे? 0, बिकॉज दिस प्लेट इज स्टेशनरी. म्हणजे हे प्लेट तर मूव्ह होणार नाहीये, त्याच्यामुळे जेटची वेलॉसिटी इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द जेट म्हणजे या एक्स डायरेक्शन मध्ये कन्सिडर करा, आफ्टर इट स्ट्राइक्स द प्लेट इज 0. Okay, so mass of water is rho AV per second, and initial velocity is capital V, and final velocity is 0. So the formula for impact of jet on stationary flat vertical plate is the force is equal to rho into A into capital V square, where rho is the mass density of water, A is the area of the jet. Area of the jet baga, plate nave, area of the water jet. V is the velocity of the water jet squared. So this is the first example of impact of jet, which was on a plate which was stationary. Okay, that means it was not moving. It was flat, that means it was not curved. And then it was vertical, that means it was normal to the direction of the jet. So here we have finished the first example. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'll end with the lecture. Thank you, everyone. You can leave the lecture.
Okay, sir.